For generations, the Thorns have been a family of tremendous wealth, position, and power. Robert and Kathy had a perfect marriage and a beautiful child. Then something terrible happened. And then it happened again. And they knew it was an omen. Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen, rated R.
We are approaching that time of year again, a time of great exhilaration, a time of great pleasure, a time of great fear. The darker sides of all crave that latter delight from themselves, but even more so, from others. To satiate that hunger, our dark selves take interest in entertainment from tales of the macabre that appeal to our deepest fears as only mortals face. The only way to achieve this is to begin the dark ritual where Brian, the corporeal life form himself, and a special guest will discuss a particular tale during this season to ward off pure evil, as well as to entertain and to educate. Proceed at your own peril to the third season of the Serial Horror Chat. When the Jews return to Zion and a comet fills the sky and the Holy Roman Empire rises, then you and I must die. From the eternal sea he rises, creating armies on either shore, turning man against his brother, till man exists no more. Welcome back, everybody, to Serial Horror Chat. And tonight we will be talking about the unsettling classic. No matter how many times I see it, it always messes with me, The Omen. And featuring, we have Miss Maren MUSES to join us for this one. How are you? Thanks for joining me.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm really excited about this. I love The Omen.
Yeah, I mean, since I felt this was either something like this or, we already did The Exorcist. Something like this, or maybe even Rosemary's Baby, or something like that has more of a religious, supernatural horror element. Since you're the chief Catholic explainer that I know, I figured that this would be the perfect thing to talk about with you. So, and since you already mentioned this as one of your favorite films, I figured let's talk about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Yes, I'm very excited because I love this movie. I really do. It scares the living crap out of me. And it's one of those that you realize, how do I say this? You don't realize how disturbed you are by it until after it's over, like the next day or the next night or an hour later.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I mean, I tried to put myself in Gregory Peck's shoes in this one. And I'm going to be honest, I could not imagine going through what he went through and how I probably would have made all the same mistakes because of the fact that he was a politician, and he lived in luxury, had things done for him, and so he probably wasn't used to having to take control of things himself. But the other thing is just like his compassion is kind of what undid him here. All because he wanted to spare his wife the pain of realizing she lost a child. It's probably the worst thing for a woman to deal with, and if for any parent to deal with, especially for the woman and everything. So that was just something that started out like that. And then we had especially at the end, coming towards the end, when he's just like, oh, I have to murder a child now. I mean, because he's not fully on board with the fact that this could be the son of Satan. And believe it or not, Richard Donner, who directed this, wanted actually he wanted this to be left to the interpretation of the audience. Like he didn't really, he didn't really want the movie to specifically state that this Damien was the Antichrist. He actually sort of like the whole showing of the 666 on his scalp and all that wouldn't have been the movie had Donner had his way. So it would have been like, oh, these things are happening. Maybe it's just coincidence.
Yeah. Well, I've heard interpretations, though, that it's all happening in Gregory Peck's head. So did he really see the 666 and all that? But that maybe that's people reaching.
Yeah, that might be the case. I mean, I honestly, there's a lot to take in. So I'm going to share my screen. I got the movie up right here.
Nice.
So I am too lazy to make still, so I just have the movie itself here. So, and what's funny is this movie, even though it's R-rated, I mean, there is violence and stuff, but it's not nearly as it's not nearly as gratuitous as other horror movies are. And this is not even really a horror movie. This is more of a thriller, in my opinion, with some horror elements. Obviously, the dogs were pretty scary. Obviously, I think they were Rottweilers. Yeah, they were Rottweilers.
Yes.
Like just there was a Rottweiler. Imagine you're living in a place and you have this governess that just shows up out of nowhere. The one mistake I probably would not have made would have been to allow this governess to do what she did. Like she would have been fired within the first hour.
Few seconds, yes. She brings in a dog without their permission. It's like, that's it, you're gone.
And then she questions them. Like they wanted to take they were going to a wedding or something. They wanted to take little Damien to church, and she's like, no, you shouldn't do that. He doesn't understand what's going on. And Lee Remick, and I feel for her. Like I see her. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like couldn't they cut her a break or something like that? But yeah, I love this shot. I love how they did this, where they had I was like, why is the text on the side instead of in the center of the frame? And I realized this showed up this little image right here, and I'm curious if this kind of helped inspired the Halloween opening frame or opening title card and all that, because you had the Halloween on the side, or you had Halloween on the right side, and you had the pumpkin on the left side, and it got big, and then they zoomed in gradually until the end of the segment. All that, it just made me think of that. I don't know if you've ever seen John Carpenter's Halloween, but this came out before that, so
scared the living crap out of me. Well, I think that this movie aired a lot of things. Rewatching it especially, I'm like, oh, they did that in Final Destination too. So it's such a classic, though.
So apparently the idea for this movie came from a few producers just hanging out and talking about scripture, and they talked about Revelation. Like, we want to make a movie. We want to make a movie about what if the Antichrist was born now in the 20th century.
Yeah.
And the Antichrist was a kid, and then just bad stuff just kept happening, and that's where this came from. And yeah, so I mean, they like apparently like they weren't comfortable initially with Gregory Peck because of the fact that he had to basically
kill his
kid and all that. And I don't even think he was comfortable with it. And what's funny is not a lot of people were comfortable with it. William Holden was another person that they asked to do it. And what's funny about this is William Holden's like, no, I'm not doing this. And then he regretted it after that. And so he took a role in the sequel.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he was like, he plays his brother. He plays Gregory Peck's brother in the sequel and all that. So, but yeah, they asked a whole bunch of people. Charles Bronson, Roy Scheider. I could have seen, Roy Scheider. I think would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see him take the role and everything. He'd been pretty much been his Jaws character, just like, what the hell?
Yeah,
we need a bigger. We need a bigger church or something.
We need a bigger crucifix.
We need a bigger blade or something.
Well, how could it be anybody but Gregory Peck, though? That man is such a legend. Some of those names are great names, but my gosh, he did such a good job. And I'm wondering if it was an actor not as good as he, would the movie have worked?
That's a really good question.
He sells it to you, and
Yes,
he's just well, like even just like look at this. And he's looking at the baby, and he realizes,
I love this shot right here with his reflection.
but he just lost his own baby. So in a way, he's kind of mourning as well. And but come on, what could possibly go wrong? This is something that I learned from the Scarlet Letter, okay, which I read in high school and I still think is a good book, where a lie is never good.
No,
It
it's not.
never a lie, and especially a lie like, well, here's the baby, darling. And I don't care who it is. When if a stranger comes up and goes, "Oh, well, we have an extra baby," and no, that does no relatives at all. Just go ahead and take this baby. Your wife will never know.
I mean, it is a lie, but I mean, I like to think it's like it's noble. It's his compassion. He's the one he alone is suffering. He alone is suffering this by sparing his wife the fact that the fact that their baby died. Is it right? Probably not. But I mean, I understand why he did it. I mean, I kind of consider it a masculine thing, taking it in and not letting anyone else suffer. But at the same time, you gotta be real, and you gotta I mean, yeah, like you said, lying doesn't work. Lying doesn't sell.
Yeah.
Lying never pays, or something. So, yeah.
Well, look at this. Check this out. The use of mirrors in this
Yes.
movie is great. Like, look at the face, look at the sweet little nun, like, here, take him. And then satanic priest back there. It's
Yeah, that's my question is, I'm curious, like they gave him the baby. So like, was this part of like a conspiracy or something, or a prophecy? Like that's one thing that I'm just like, is the priest satanic or all that? And that's,
yes.
and that's why he goes to I don't know if he gets found out or something and is forced to go to the convent or the monastery, and like half of his face is gone, like burnt. I don't know if it was from the fire that they mentioned or if it was from something else.
It was from the fire. See, so the priest was in on it, and so was the other priest that we see later. They were the ones. There's like this whole little cult thing, but they keep it very vague in this first movie. And that's why I like this first movie. And I don't want to watch anything else. I have, of course, but I like it the way it is. Because remember, the other priest, he had the 666 mark on him. And he, remember, was repenting when he was in the monastery. They were like, he's here. And he said he's repenting for turning away from Christ. So you realize that they had done a great sin.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember when Patrick Troughton comes into the movie, the first thing he tells him to do is to, he tells Gregory Peck to accept Christ as his savior, to drink his blood, and to take holy communion. It's the only method to combat his son, basically.
Yeah.
But
demonic son.
Yeah, and it's funny, like you're kind of like, how big is this network of disciples, this network of evil, dark disciples? I mean, I'll steal from Robert Jordan, say dark friends, but like people that are on board with Damien being, knowing the prophecy of Damien being born, and basically manipulating events so that in Damien's favor. And obviously, so now Patrick Troughton says that Damien is doing all the stuff. So obviously Damien grows up. He grows up. He's 5 years old. And by the way, this kid was one of 5,000 people, 5,000 kids that auditioned for this role. And you know how he won the part, and I was just reading about this, and I found this very amusing. Donner had a bunch of kids attack him as an audition, just come up and just start pounding on him. And this kid was the most vicious. And that's how he got the part. That's how he got the part. And so
that's amazing. Well, because he had to beat the crap out of his mom. But no, this kid is really good. I know we talk a lot about like the kid from The Shining or even in the Sixth Sense, but my gosh, this kid, holy moly. And I love the way that they start it off where it's like they're going, la, 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 look at this happy family. And oh, we've got a birthday party. And this is the first time we see something truly horrible and diabolical when I'm doing it for you, Damien. And
yeah, that was creepy. Like you see I just showed it. You see the woman, the close up of the woman's eyes, and right here.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I'm taking it. Was she a dark friend too, or was she? Was she a disciple, or did Damien just like take over her brain or the dog's brain, and the dog transmitted to her to kill herself? I don't fully understand what was going on in this scene. Like you hear some weird sound, some weird mixing effect, and then just you see the close up of the eyes. You're like, is there telepathy going on right here? What's going on?
I got the implication from the movie that the Satan kind of infiltrated her, if you will, with the dog and all that, and had her do it. Because if she was a dark friend, and I do believe they have a name because they fleshed it out in some of the other movies, that she would have just been fine where she was. She was already there looking after Damien. So I believe that she had to unalive herself. They had to get her out of the way in order to have the
this right here. Look at this. Yeah. Look at this. This is creepy as hell. And I like how they take like the mom Lee Remick just takes him away from her. She's like, she's like, oh, I'm gonna take him away. You look crazy. You look creepy and crazy, even though you're the nanny and we pay you. So and then there's the appearance of the Rottweiler. So I don't think he has a name. He's just there. And the good news is no Rottweilers were harmed in the production of this movie. So
this isn't the Rings of Power where they kill animals. They lost a horse, but I digress.
That's right. Okay, it didn't happen on the show. It happened during the production. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so all these Rottweilers. Well, I felt like the Rottweiler were the manifestation of demons, or even perhaps even Satan. That it was literally taking on that form.
Yeah, the more ravenous, the more terrifying. The more the demons that want to bite your face off, basically.
Yeah. Well, he's Satan and demons are described as animals. Well, Satan is described like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. So they're often used in that kind of way in the Bible.
By the way, just want to say we have 5 people in chat on YouTube side and 6 people or bots on the X side, because you never hear any chat from the X side, so I assume they're bots. If you're not a bot, I apologize, but yeah, if you have access to a chat, say hello, say something. I'd love to hear from you. Right,
and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I don't know the deep lore of this. I have just only watched it on the surface and enjoyed it there.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I'm learning some of the stuff myself as we're doing this. So, but yeah, this so like the movie starts out in Italy. Then he finds out that he's now going to be ambassador to the UK. So now he moves to the UK. And they have this really expensive house because she just chose it, because why not? Wife.
Yeah, well,
put the wife
for
in
the
charge.
For the future wife of the president of the United States, she says. She's ready to be Jackie Kennedy.
That's right. But yeah, we got this nice little shot, this nice little thing. They're like, "Oh, where's Damien? Where did Damien go?" I'm like, shouldn't you be watching your 2-year-old? You know, especially
Around water.
around water. So that maybe that's supposed to say something about maybe they're not as attentive as they should be, and then they kind of let the governess kind of handle all the all the baby rearing and discipline and taking care of and all that. I don't know, like is that still a thing? Just like having a governess around for like higher class, you know, people that just don't have the time to spend with their kids or something.
Absolutely. Well, look at all the Hollywood actors. They all have nannies. All the royal families have nannies in England and stuff.
Even the American ruling class, all the politicians, basically.
Yeah, they have. Oh, absolutely. Do they have nannies? And then they send them off to boarding school, expensive private schools.
Yeah. So that was an issue, right? There was an issue right there. So they obviously weren't paying as much attention. And the thing, I'm not even sure why they even have a governess. Like the wife is not doing anything. She's not working, is she? I don't think so.
No, but she's got other things to do.
Yeah, like
doing her nails and going to events, activities, dinners.
Socialite. Okay.
Socialite. Yeah, it's a thing. It's, as I told you, it's still the case. And people have nannies. Very common. Just people still have nannies, even if you're not just Hollywood royalty or real royalty.
We have enough money. We have enough money. We don't want to put in the work. Let's pay someone to do it for us. You know.
Yeah. Change the diapers and play with them. And
what parent wants? What parent changes diapers? A pleb parent. That's what they are. Pleb parents change diapers. We're above that. We don't do that because we're better than that. So
why do it yourself if you can get someone else to pay for it?
Yeah, and I loved my favorite actor in this movie is Patrick Troughton. Like second Doctor, he's just crazy. He is crazy, but he is so cool. Like he's just telling him, he's like, you gotta do the stuff. He's the one that's trying to lead our main character into the right direction to victory. But the problem is he's a good guy in the wrong decade. This is the 70s where the bad guys generally win in almost every movie, especially horror movies.
Yeah. But look, you see that he's definitely lived hard. He's not your average, I want to say exorcist. This is not what he is. But when someone comes in like that, that's a little bit crazy. I got to be honest. If a priest started doing this to me, I would be calling security as well. It's like, hello, you need to repent and eat the blood, flesh, and drink his blood. And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. It's a little too fanatical.
Yeah, I just like it starts off like this, but his like this was his original scene, but I love the second scene where he we'll go back to the baboons. The baboons was a very interesting. This scene was great. This was so good. But I loved like right here he's just telling him, he's just like, bro, this kid's gonna kill you. This kid's going to kill you when the opportunity arises. When he knows he's going to inherit all of what you have, he's going to kill you. And the thing that chilled me the most when he's like, he's going to murder your wife because your wife is pregnant. And here's the thing. He didn't know. How did he know that? Because Gregory Peck he himself did not know that. He did not know that his wife was pregnant. He found out in the next scene.
Yeah, and the wife even said she only just found out.
And she wanted to have an abortion. Yeah. So, and he's just like, I want to fight this. So no, I don't want this to happen, but we'll get to that. But
yeah, that was a very bizarre thing. It's like, no, my objections to the abortion is because it was prophesied she wouldn't. So let's just prove them wrong.
Yeah, okay, that's how he worded it. That's how he put it. So,
Yeah.
but
It was
yes,
prophesied that the baby would die, so we got to make sure it lives. It's like,
yeah,
how about just make sure the baby lives anyway?
yeah, exactly. It's just, but it was just like, you hear somebody tell you that your existing son, your son that's alive, that's not that's your son that's there right now, and then you have an unborn son or child. Well, it might not be a son, could be a daughter, unborn
Mhm.
child, and then you find out from a person that your first son wants to off your unborn child because the unborn child could be a threat. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I got the chills thinking about that. Just the idea of kids wanting to kill other kids, just really. And then as an adult, how do you deal with that? That's just chilling. Like,
The
I
reality of evil, especially because in general, children are innocent. They are innocent.
yes,
And to a
yes.
certain degree, the idea is that children are not really capable of evil until they reach the age of reason,
Yeah.
which we start to say is about 7, 8 years old. That's why kids don't go to confession until they're about 8 years old, because they're not capable of choosing to do wrong for the sake of doing wrong. But
Hmm.
we're not just saying this, we're saying that this kid can go full on Jeffrey Dahmer at the age of 5. That's unsettling, that's disturbing, and that is against nature. A lot of these things are unnatural. That's what I kept feeling about this, that nature is rebelling itself against what is going on in this story.
Yeah. Because right after this scene, all of a sudden it starts to
Mhm,
storm, and and then Patrick John's like, what the hell's going on? And then he realizes,
mhm.
is Damien, like, you think Damien's doing this, or somebody, or the devil is doing
Oh, no,
this?
these are the demonic forces, yes.
Like,
And this is where I, as a believer, am like, that's not how that works.
yeah,
Because Satan doesn't have, demons don't have that much power over nature and stuff, and you have free will. Like, for example, if he hadn't run, everything would have been okay. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
just make the sign of the cross and say, "You don't frighten me." That's the way it's kind of supposed to work. Not,
yeah,
oh, look, trees and fire and wind. No, that's not how it works.
yeah. No, it isn't. I wonder if they added, like, in Halloween, because they were in California, they added a lot of fake leaves to make it seem like it was fall. I know, I'm pretty sure they added the leaves or something, or the fake leaves, so that when they had the fans uh, causing the wind and all that, they wanted to make it look real enough. So that's why they had they wanted to make it look violent enough.
Yeah,
That's why they had the leaves kind of flapping around in the air like that. But it doesn't look like it's fall based on looking at the tree, but
no,
looking at the trees here. So
very lush.
yeah, very lush indeed. And they filmed all this, I think, in the UK. I think they filmed this in Surrey, I think. So, but yeah, he gets. I liked how they explained what happened to him with the photos and all that. You remember the scene with David Warner? He takes pictures and he sees like a
Yes,
little, like, a line right here,
here we
right
are.
here,
Yeah, there we go. That's
and
what I'm saying. That's the Final Destination thing that they did, where it's like the photograph showed how people were gonna die. They totally
yeah.
ripped it off.
So
Yes.
that line right there is basically, okay. That's how he's going to
Woo.
die. A lightning rod's going to fall off of a church steeple, and it's going to land land on
Right on,
Patrick, right on him. I'm
like
like,
a javelin.
what? Move out of the way. Why? I would have stayed against the building as long as possible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but no, that's Patrick Troughton had to go. So, moment of silence for Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Crazy guy. Well, we learn later from him, because he goes to his bedroom after this, that he had the mark of Satan on his thigh.
Oh, he did?
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we know that he was part of all of this. And that's part of why he was so fanatical and psycho. He was trying to make up for the fact. And he's like, if you kill him, if
Oh, right
you
here.
undo this, yeah, then I can be forgiven, because it would undo what he had done.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, I didn't understand that. I'm like, what does he need to be forgiven for? Was it because he was party to them taking the baby or something?
Yeah, that's how he knew that the mother was a jackal. Remember, he started to go, the mother is a jackal, and then the security people put him away. So he knew he was there, or at least he knew that the mom was a doggy.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. Mom is a jackal. Like, how does that work?
It's against nature. Everything's against nature that's happening.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, the guy from Lady Hawk will be saying later that Satan does everything opposite to what is holy. And remember, there is a miraculous birth, a miraculous conception for the Lord when he came 2,000 years ago. And so in mockery of that against nature, it's a miraculous birth, but through something abomination, an abominable thing, an animal, a ugly jackal, a dirty animal. Do I love animals?
Yeah. Speaking of animals, perfect segue into we'll get to her.
Evil Nanny.
So they go to the zoo.
oh gosh, yes. You see, there we go. You see, nature rebels against it. It's unnatural.
The giraffes notice there's something. Yeah, nature notices there's something wrong, and then the giraffes just run away. They run away from a
5-year-old.
From a 5-year-old. I don't know how they did that, but this scene is what everybody remembers. This is the scene with the baboons. So they're driving through the baboons like it's through the place like it's Jurassic Park. So they're like, and so what the production tried several ways to see if they can get the baboons to react violently. They started by throwing food on the around the car. That didn't work. And then they had a zookeeper have a baboon baby in the back seat. That didn't work.
Oh, it didn't. Okay.
And so what they did was, and I don't know how this worked. Maybe they had to trank the alpha, but they had the alpha in the car.
Oh no.
And then with the alpha in the car, then they all reacted. All the baboons reacted the way they did. And this is real. This was real terror on Lee Remick's face right here.
I was gonna say I would be very disturbed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these were real. These were real. These were real reactions.
But man, they made the kid go through that too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
look at them. Yeah,
pretty much. Screaming. Yeah. I thought this was, oh man, this was terrifying, but this was great. Like, you're like, are they gonna scratch their way into the car right here? So yeah, this was a great scene. Very, very memorable. There's so many, like this movie's 2 hours. So how long is this movie?
About 2 hours. I think
this movie's 2 hours long, and there's enough content to there's nothing wasted in this movie. Like movies nowadays, there's always scenes that are either drag too long or take too long, and a lot of times like movies are 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and the amount of material in the movie does not justify the length of the movie.
No.
Back then, if a movie was 2 hours, it was 2 hours for a reason. Or if it was an hour and 40 minutes, it was an hour or hour and a half for most horror movies. It was like that for a reason. They didn't really waste time. Well, maybe the schlocky horror movies probably did, but a movie like this,
most of them were only 90 minutes. Like it wasn't long.
Yeah, so like there's no like wasted scenes. Like every scene, there's something to take away. There's like something scary to take away, or there's just something pretty cool to learn or pick up on. And yeah, so
they're crafting something here.
Yes.
That's the other thing, that these are people that know how to make movies. They're artists.
Yes, and they actually care about the craft, and they and they just they knew. I mean, back then people knew how to write, and they knew how to like you said, script, craft, and and then just create these really great, memorable shots and these great scenes. So, but let's meet the nanny. Let's meet the governess. Oh, remember this? Okay, so Let's meet the governess right here. This is Mrs. What the heck's her name? Mrs. Baylock.
Yeah. Well, who came out of nowhere and they didn't decide to follow up. Like, where the fuck did this woman come from?
She came from the agency.
Yeah. And it's like, well, we didn't know.
We didn't know. I thought I thought you did. No, I thought you did. Husband and wife.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you follow up? And then the second she said, oh no, I want to be alone with him, I would be like, dude, we don't even know if you're even a real nanny and you're gonna let you alone with my 5-year-old.
We don't know if you're we don't even do a background check on you. You could be something that ends with something that starts with a P to the E to the D to the O, or you could be something else. I don't know, but yeah. Look at you have to have blue. It seems like you have to have blue eyes to have that terrifying look in the eyes right here. Like, and we do a closer shot of her eyes when this right here, actually. Let's see if I can find it right here.
Well, actually, frankly, anytime she looks at anything, she's terrifying.
Yeah, Mrs. Baylock. Yeah,
and
the
kid.
Music
here.
Yeah.
She's just like, okay, I'll open the door. Come on out, boy, and kill your mama.
Oh, this part right here is just so. This is so crazy. So this is after we find out that she's pregnant, and then she's just like, okay, I'm gonna fix something. Why? I don't know. But it seemed like almost. I'm like, it seemed almost impossible that she would basically fall the way she did. Let's see if we can get it right here. Yeah, so she goes back and then she goes forward for no reason.
And then she flips over.
And then she jumps over, basically.
That's a gold-winning Olympic move right there.
Okay, I was wrong. There have been animals that were hurt during the production of the movie. 4 goldfish in that bowl.
R.I.P. Well, maybe they were fake goldfish.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, they might have been fake goldfish. Hey, look who's here. Here. We got Salty Traveling Sea. And thank you so much for the $1.49 super sticker. Yeah, this is if you've seen this, definitely comment, because we're this movie is so unsettling. And yeah, like
the sound that they use too, like they'll make just normal things like doors closing and footsteps and tables rattling, just normal sounds. It really unsettles you. And then the Latin music, which usually is something that's very
the chants. They had the chants.
Yeah,
the Gregorian chants. Yes.
But it's creepy, and the composer does a very good job of kind of doing it to make it sound wrong.
Yeah, and you know who composed this? The legendary Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
Yes. So like, yeah, he did. He did this. He's done so many movies in the 70s, like either him or John Williams. Those two have their names on like so many movies. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So this little jerk, this little jerk's like, "Hi, mommy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just ride my tricycle right into your
then ladder." She just kind of holds on to it. It's like, "Hi, mommy. You gonna fall?"
Yeah, and then they do like the shot that they choose to use is just like, oh, look at that.
He's just looking.
See if I could get away with this.
Like curious, like, oh, there's mom screaming,
and she lands on her stomach. This is what I had to cover my eyes. Like this is because she's pregnant and she lands on her stomach. I was just like, I had to pause it. This is where I started to tear up a little bit, because I just, the idea of a pregnant woman losing a baby like that is just is I don't know. It's maybe because I'm older and stuff. I don't know what it is.
Well, we all know that it's, who could it be? Could it be Satan? If you know the Saturday Night Live thing about the unborn. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Don't like the unborn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I like how the doctor here, British doctors, or I don't know, older British, doctors or something, they just come off as dicks. Like, oh, you can have plenty more children. Oh, is she still pregnant? No, but you can have plenty more children. I'm just like,
What?
oh my god, shut up, go away. I would have told the guy to F off.
Yeah. Well, a British person, they feel like they could say that in the same thing as, and now let's have a cup of tea. They could be discussing the weather, but in the way he even tried to say it, like internal bleeding. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, just come out and say it. But I must admit, I found it a little bit comical with her sitting there with her cast in the arm up in the air. It reminded me of a scene that you would imagine coming from Airplane, the movie.
Yeah.
You like that little girl who was on the airplane, and it was I with the
Yeah, and then she like they're dancing and they're stepping on her like tube and she can't breathe.
yes, exactly. And I was thinking of that when the nanny came in to kill her. I know you're thinking
okay,
so emotional, and I'm like trying not to laugh. I feel terrible.
All right, so the nanny doing what the nanny does, basically. Okay, we didn't
Killing people.
So did she just push her out the window, or did she you? Okay, you're talking about this right here.
Yeah, you see there her hair and stuff. Even though I know she's a grown woman, it just reminded me of that kid from Airplane.
You're right.
Looking out the nun with the guitar.
Let me see if I can find the moment where she falls again. Okay, yeah, this is after this. So the eyes right here. One thing, the eyes right here really just like she's just I think she's just terrified this whole movie. I just feel for her. She falls once and then she falls again. Or like, seriously, Richard, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
couldn't you spare this woman? Nope. The devil wouldn't spare her. Yeah, so yeah, she calls her. He tells her to get out of there, and she can't change because of the fact that she has a cast.
That's what I'm saying. It's unintentionally funny.
Yeah. Oh, and
there we go. And there's that evil look.
Yeah. So yeah, did she push her out? Did she use telekinesis? Did the devil do it? Like, what do you think happened? What do you think happened here?
Well, I frankly think it was she startled her, so because she didn't actually push her with her hands, if I'm correct. I think she just startled her and she fell out. Maybe
okay, a little far, but we don't see it. We just it cuts to her basically. She's walking towards her, so maybe she did kind of push her out because she was kind of in that position. She's in that weird comical position right there. So
yeah, I was gonna.
And she can't move. She can't do anything because of the casts. So and then we get to see, like, I guess they threw the camera. They had the camera tied to something. They just dropped it.
Wow.
To create that visual.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
And wait, see, my first thought when Gregory Peck called her from Rome. And he's like, go ahead and get ready. And she's kind of like, how do I get ready? I'm like, yeah, dude, she can barely move. She's got a cast over half of her body. And then
or call someone else that you trust. Or isn't there anybody else you can trust? You're a politician. You're a powerful person. Have an attendant help you out. Offer to do triple time because it's late at night.
Exactly. But this is after he finds is this after they find the jackal at that point? Yeah.
Yeah.
They go to the grave. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That scene was the scene that creeped me out the most, and I don't know why. But I was minding my own business, watching this by myself. Yeah, well, not the dogs.
Maybe it's the idea that this was where the Etruscans lived. Maybe that's what it is.
Could have been. Well, they set it up very well, but the opening up of the grave. And it's a jackal. It's an animal, and you can see where like the baby like burst forth or something in this awful alien moment. It just really scared the crap out of me. And I was alone in my house the first time I watched this as an adult, because I watched it as a younger person where, you're dumb and you don't quite get all the subtleties. But Oh my gosh. And then it breaks. Oh, it's just all sorts of awful stuff. And then you see the baby, which is a very disturbing. Very
Yeah,
disturbing.
and that
Because
was
you
supposed to
see
be
what they
that was
did.
supposed to be his baby, right?
Yeah, and you see what they did to kill the baby. They didn't, like, you know, the baby's head shows what they did to him after he was born.
Okay, so the baby didn't die. The baby was killed, basically,
Yes,
for the
and that's why
sake
he's
of.
like, they murdered my baby. Yeah, that was the whole thing when the baby came out. Because you see, when you look at the skull, there's a big hole in its head, like it'd been hit with a blunt object.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it. This makes
Yeah,
this movie even more. Oh yeah, you're right. Shattered skull. No way.
yeah, and then
Holy.
he's like, they murdered my baby. They murdered my baby. It's like, yes, he wasn't being symbolic,
Yeah.
literal.
Yeah.
They're brutal, evil. Well, I keep going back to. We also know other people that do something very similar right at the moment of birth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just so demonic and so
Mm-hmm.
unnatural and evil.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't lose your channel because I said that, but I didn't say the word.
You didn't say the word.
No.
So yeah. No, and I know exactly what you mean. So I never, I never thought of that. I didn't think, that they even dawn on me. That's crazy. That,
Yeah.
I mean, this makes this movie even makes this movie even better now. Holy crap. Sorry.
Well, no. Are you kidding me? But if you think about it, would they have really left it to chance? Like maybe there'll be someone at the exact moment on June 6th at the 6th hour on, was it 06 or whatever, the 666? Maybe someone's going to have a stillbirth and then we can switcheroo it out and it's a powerful person. They were ready for it.
Yeah, and they I guess they picked him. They picked Gregory Peck to to put this kid, to place this kid, to plant this kid, or to plant the son of Satan so that he can fulfill his prophecy, I guess. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, like I said earlier, you're like, how far does this rabbit hole go? Like with dark friends and all that. It's oh man.
And of course, the guy is like, I'm invested in this because, and it shows him with the big line going right across his neck, the guy from Titanic, the photographer. So he's like, I think I want to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, like he shows the picture of himself. He's like, how do you, like, you have no business in this. He's like, yes, I do. And he has a picture of himself, and there's like the slash around his neck, and then you find out why that is. And I'll be honest, that kill is the one thing I never forgot from this movie. Like, I always remember that scene where the truck falls, and then the sheet of glass just slides off and just decapitates him completely. And they do it in like multiple like shots too, right here.
Oh,
See
yeah.
if I get right here. Let's
like, it feels like it happens in slow motion, almost like a nightmare.
Yes, it does. And he doesn't, what's weird is he doesn't even realize it. Like, I swear if something was coming towards me from my side, I would have spotted it like right away. Like, it's because I walk the streets of Chicago, and I always keep an eye on my 9 and my 3 and all that, or even my 6 sometimes, I look like a moron. But yeah, this right here is just,
here we go.
I gotta keep this slow because I don't want to get hit.
Understood.
There it goes.
And it's kind of funny, actually, when it started to bounce across there like that.
Yep. Yeah, and then they do it 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. Just like it's a basketball or something.
Yeah.
Oh
Boom.
Man. Boom! Right through the glass. Right through the glass, because some idiot was clumsy. Basically. I know. See, this is like, okay, you're like, okay, did the devil do this? No, it was just bad luck.
Yeah.
And because Gregory Peck threw the knives. So this is right after they meet the Bugenhagen. And I swear they reused the name in the Final Fantasy VII. But there's a character here named Bugenhagen. They go to Israel. and
Yeah.
they find out how to combat. There's Leo McKern right here. I was like, where have I seen him before? Then I realized
Lady Hawk.
I didn't realize I forgot he was in Lady Hawk, but yeah, he
Oh.
was in The Prisoner. If you ever seen the show The Prisoner with Patrick McGowan, he
Oh,
was
no.
one of the number twos. He was the number two that he played this little I forget what the game is. They're playing some sort of psychological game. Let me look it up. But let's just say that the scene that scene in The Prisoner that he did nearly drove him mad, basically. But yeah, Leo McKern's a really great actor. Like he really is. He really puts his A game, and so that them getting him to explain the blades or something, the holy blades, is just yeah. So you would believe that he would know. He would be the one to bestow holy blades to you, like he's a crazy person, because he looks like, look at him, he looks like a crazy person.
Yeah. No, he does a great job. He was also in The Man for All Seasons.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen Lady Hawk, thanks to Salty, but I haven't seen Man of All Seasons.
Oh, great movie.
Is that an 80s movie, 70s movie?
Oh no, it was 1966. It won Best Picture. It was about St. Thomas More's last years of his life and conscience and all that good stuff. Paul Scofield.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll have to check it out. Interesting. So basically so you got the blades right there. So basically what does he have to do? He's not supposed to kill. He's not just supposed to kill the child physically. He's supposed to kill the child spiritually. So
yeah,
what exactly does that mean? Like kill the soul or send the soul to hell, basically?
I think that's the idea, because this is where I'm saying the theology of this is not very sound at all. So
yeah,
but the whole idea is, yes, of using these knives and having to put them in the sign of the cross, etc., to defeat the Antichrist. It's just kind of silly. It's almost like putting a wooden stake through the heart of a vampire. But yeah, so it's like the first one has to kill his body, and then he's like, and then the rest of them, kill its soul, kill its spirit, kill its whatever. And I'm like, that's some grade A bullshit.
Yeah, and I think he also is the one to tell him, like, your son is going to be marked, and he's like, my son is not marked. You're telling me to kill a kid. My son is not marked. I've been bathing him since he was a baby. And then there's something right there. Now, maybe the kid had a lot of hair as a baby, but you would probably see it on an infant's skull.
I was about to say, baby, infants don't have hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Plot hole. Okay, You know what? He was a lying liar who lies, because we know that they have a nanny. He didn't bathe the kid.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. He didn't. Actually, I didn't even think about that. You're right. He didn't bathe. He probably didn't bathe the kid. He probably never saw the kid. He probably took a look. He probably saw a mark, didn't know what to make of it, and then just gave it to the nanny, and the nanny raised the kid, and then Mrs. Baylock, and then there you go.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it was really creepy when she did first meet him. I should have said this when we were doing this earlier, where when she just talks to him like he's a grown up and calls him gives him that kind of respectful language. When she walks in, it's like, here's where she is, and she addresses him. Yeah,
look at how she like moves her mouth. She's just like, so it's like she's like proclaiming. It's like she's giving a speech or something.
Yeah, she's speaking very formally to him, like as someone would before their god. They revere him very much.
Yeah,
and she calls him thee. As I said.
Yeah, at least she doesn't say. She's like, I'm going to protect you. Blah 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 blah. and she does she's only like what, she's like 5'2", 5'3", and she is taken on at the end of the movie. So Gregory Peck's going in, finds out that his son has the mark right here, and you're kind of like wondering who's the bigger monster here. And then she just comes out and she is just fighting him tooth and nail, like right here. That's her right there. And Gregory Peck's not a small dude. He's like 6'3". He's a big dude. Even though he's older, but he's struggling with her. He's struggling.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm protecting him at all costs. And like she's biting him and everything. And it's just, like it just gets like right here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
And he has to stab her. He has to stab her in both in her temples, or is that in the neck? I can't tell, but this is a very very memorable fight right here.
Well, they were even warned. He was even warned, rather, by the dude in Jerusalem that she will die before she will allow you to harm him. So she just goes all out. She's willing to give up her life, and animal-like. I keep coming back to this, that this isn't natural, like supernatural strength almost, what she's doing here with her teeth and animals and the dogs in this scene. It's so unsettling.
She was terrifying the entire movie. Like you see her eyes, you just see her eye. Like any shot with her eyes, I wouldn't mess with her. I wouldn't mess with her. That's how crazy it is. Now here is where I'm like, I don't know if I would make the same mistake he's doing right here. So the only reason why the police went after him here is because he sped out of the of his estate. And because of that, there was police there or something, and the police just followed him to the church. And I love this shot right here. This is a cool shot of the church. And he's dragging the kid. The kid's fighting him, and you're just like, you're like, the kid's bad, but like at the same time, do you want, like, if you were in his position, like, what would you do?
Yeah.
I mean, can you consciously knowingly murder a kid?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, especially when he's fighting and he's yelling, "Daddy!" all of that.
Yeah, Daddy, don't hurt me. Daddy, don't hurt me. And he's got the blade here. Now, the question is, do you think, because when the police do show up, do you think this was like his out, basically? This was his out. Be like, okay, I would rather die than have to do something, to live with doing something like this. Or do you think he would have done it?
That's a very good question, because he does hesitate. Like, all he had to do is just keep going, because when they said stop it or we'll shoot, but then he starts to do it, and that's why they shoot. I think either way sounds good to me.
What's up, Aldan? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we're at the butt end of the movie.
Yeah, DJ.
Oh yeah, we got DJ Ryan G. What's up? What's up, man? What's up, guys? Thanks for showing up. This has been a slower stream than usual, but it is Saturday night. So, but yeah, this, like, I honestly, if I was in this position, and I noticed the police were like, if you don't stop, we'll shoot, I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would have let them shoot me or something, because I mean, like, there's no easy way out. There's no. This is a Rocky song, Rocky 4 song. Sorry, there's no way out here. You're done. Like, if you kill the kid, you're done. If you don't kill the kid, you're done, basically. I mean,
yeah, he's gonna go to jail for the rest of his life for taking his kid like that in an altar and pulling out a knife, or he'd be in a nut house for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So, like, this is a lose-lose situation here. Like, I don't see, like, I probably would be like, I'd rather be dead than be here right now. And then the thing is, he lost everybody. Everybody's dead. His wife's dead. Everybody that came around him is gone, basically. Well, at least in the movie. Maybe he had other friends. Who knows? He's a politician. He probably has a lot of supporters and stuff, extended family. But hey, he's alone. And yeah.
Well, and he murdered the nanny from a certain point of view. If you're like a cop in Britain, the police, it's like you just killed a woman by stabbing her 2 times in the head, the way it happened. So he's done there. So he's going to go for murder. So
Yeah.
his life is kind of over anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Right here.
It's like, oh, she tried to attack me. It's like, dude, you're like 6'3", as you were saying earlier. So he's gonna go for murder. His life is done.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he sped up, because he wanted to be caught, or he wanted to be, I don't know,
or he really wanted to kill,
or he really wanted to kill, the kid. Or maybe he felt that, maybe a lightning rod would impale him if he didn't move quick enough. like Patrick Troughton, basically.
Yeah, because that dude never had a picture of him. Maybe he didn't know how he was supposed to go.
Yeah, well, there probably would have been. I'm assuming he got shot in the head, so there probably would have been like a dot on his head.
There you go.
So yeah, so I liked how so he's dragging the kid, and then, daddy. Let's see if I can get this. So yeah, so you see the shot, and you're like, okay. When I first saw it, I was like, did he stab him? Who? And then like, what happened? And then you see 2 caskets. So the first thing I thought when you see the 2 caskets right here, I thought it was. I thought they had one for the kid as well, but when you take a good look at it, it's 2 adult caskets. It's 2 adult size caskets. So it should have been obvious to me that this was him and his wife being buried and all that. And then you find out, okay, the president's there, and the problem is this doesn't look like the president of the United States in 1976 right there. Why does this president have hair? Because Gerald Ford was president. When they filmed this was 1975, and Gerald Ford didn't have any hair.
True. I think they were trying to make it nondescript because they didn't know who would be president in 76 when it was going to be out, perhaps.
Yeah, because the election was going to happen in 76. It would have been Ford. It was ultimately Ford versus Carter, and of course we all know how that went. Carter won. Yeah. Why? Probably because Ford pardoned Nixon.
Yeah,
that pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, well, he had the whole taint of Watergate, etc. But I like the way that they kept him from the back, so it was nondescript, so it wouldn't look a little bit cheesy. But I didn't like. Well, rather, I liked this. It was a fantastic, creepy ending where it just goes, hi, Mr. President, blah, blah, blah. And then you just go down and you see Damien and you're like, gosh.
You're like, why is the president taking Damien? Like, here's the thing. This was supposed to be the twist here, but like, why did the president take Damien under his wing right here and all that? Just like, was there any, like, I thought, I didn't even know that he was friends with the president. So
yes. That was established at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, that they were roommates together. So he likely agreed to adopt the son when he died.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, I'll have to rewatch that. I'll have to rewatch that scene. Because I know the wife said, you're going to be the future president and all that. So this kid's life is set. Like, this kid was in a win-win situation from the beginning. Because of the forces that act, because obviously the human forces and the demonic forces working together, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this movie was terrifying, but this movie was freaking great. And by the way, what's up, Gray? Wakizashi's Tea House. I left alone. My mind was blank. I needed time to think to get the memories from my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's from, but it sounds beautiful.
And of course, the very last shot. This turns into a grin,
a smirk.
Yeah,
like this kid. Like, so with this kid, it's not even a smirk. It's an innocent smirk and everything. But yeah, so this kid was a curly haired blonde, and I think they and he had really bright blue eyes and all that. And they put contacts on him to make him look a little bit creepier, and they strained his hair and dyed his hair to make it darker, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that. So like they did those things to kids to make him look like, the spawn of evil, basically. So
well, there we are.
but yeah, this was a great movie. Thanks for definitely thanks for doing this with me. This was a lot of fun talking the Omen, seeing this movie again. This movie never gets old. This movie will never. I don't think, no matter how many times I watch this movie. Now that you tell me about the kid with the skull, the kid in the grave, oh my gosh, that's going to bring a whole new flavor in my next rewatch of this.
Yes,
jeez,
very disturbing.
So yeah, Dark Friends. I have not. Have you? I forget. Did you say you've seen the sequels? I've never seen the sequels.
No, I briefly watched, I think maybe the third one with a friend way back in the day, but I didn't know what I was watching or understand. And I sure as hell am not watching the prequel.
I know I think they came out with one this year, and then they came out with one like 10 years ago, because they just run out of ideas now. They just they give the exact same name of the original movie to a new movie, and I hate when they do it. They did it with Halloween. They did it with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm just like, stop doing that. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, the prequel one they came out with changed everything, which is just like, screw that.
Yeah. Like, how do you make a prequel to this? What it's just an animal giving birth to a baby, a jackal giving birth to a baby, basically.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They changed a lot of stuff in it. So it's like it ruins it. So when I heard some of the changes that they were doing, like the things that were revealed, I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not watching it. I want this movie to be pure for me, though I think that's an odd name to use for this. But this stands on its own, and I don't need any more. And I know that the sequels are not considered as good as this, obviously. So, I mean, how much better can you get than that creepy look from the kid where you realize maybe they didn't stop the apocalypse?
No, they didn't. As far as I'm concerned, evil wins ultimately because of this movie.
So. Well, from a certain point of view, but I've mentioned before that the whole premise of the movie is kind of a little bit off, giving far too much power to the powers of darkness, because at the end of the day, even if it all comes about, the victory is the Lord's.
Yeah.
If you're fulfilling the prophecy, we know how the prophecy is going to end. Yeah. Now, of course, the things that they were saying were in the book of Revelation weren't actually in the book of Revelation. The Antichrist is not going to be the son of Satan or anything like that.
It's just someone that's acting just like a false person that's pretending to be the savior when they're not. I think is basically what the Antichrist is supposed to be according to Revelation, I think.
Well,
basically.
Not really. You see, the Antichrist is not in the book of Revelation. The only time the book of Revelation is in the Bible, there are 4 references, and it's talking about the spirit of the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is someone that does not acknowledge Jesus as coming in the flesh, that doesn't acknowledge Jesus as Lord, that there is many Antichrists. We have an Antichrist now. So this idea of one single evil entity, one man doing all of this, that's not really either in the Bible or in tradition at all.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, I mean, I'm looking at the first couple pages of Revelation right now. First 3 chapters has a lot of red text, which means Christ is this is all stuff from Christ himself. So definitely have to read this. I'll definitely have to read this. I'm probably not going to understand any of this, but that's why we have the internet to help me understand
exactly. It. Well, I'll give you a hint that the best way, if you read the book of Revelation, first of all, realizing that a lot of it is referring to what's going to be going on in AD 70. I'm sorry, rather it was after AD 70. Sorry. It was some of the stuff with the Roman Empire and the Nero Caligula, etc., and some of those. But also, it's the Mass that they're describing, the heavenly liturgy.
Mm-hmm.
When you read it in that context, once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. And it's the whole idea of on earth as it is in heaven. And yes, it does end with the marriage supper of the Lamb and all that good stuff, and a new
Yeah.
heaven and a new earth, and that there will be some tribulation. But at the end of the day, it really is not going to unfold the way, for example, that a lot of people have interpreted it for a variety of reasons. And I'm going to leave that to other people about why this whole idea of one particular man that's gonna like unite the world and all of this. I have it here. Well, like in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, when they talk about the Antichrist, again, they talk about it very much the way it is in the Bible. It's like before second Christ's coming, the church must pass through a final trial that will shake the faith of the believers. The persecution that accompanies her pilgrimage on earth will unveil the mystery of iniquity in the form of a religious deception offering men an apparent solution to their problems at the price of apostasy from the truth. The supreme religious deception is that of the Antichrist, a pseudo-messianism by which man glorifies himself in place of God and of his Messiah come in the flesh. So the Antichrist is actually a belief, an attitude. I hate to say that because it makes it sound like I'm talking about like
so an idea basically.
Yeah, I hate to say that because that's what it sounds like. Yeah, it is an idea, or the idea of it's a deception. It's again a pseudo-messianism, but just man glorifies himself. And again in the verses in the Bible when it talks about, they specifically say it's those that do not acknowledge that Jesus came in the flesh or that Jesus is like Lord of heaven and earth. There's only 4 verses in the Bible that actually use the word Antichrist, and none of those verses are in the book of Revelation.
Okay. All right. I will keep all that in mind when I read Revelation, because now that I've watched it, now I gotta see what. Now I have to understand what's basically everything you said. Now I gotta understand what's going on. So.
Yeah. Well, again, we are children that have been born, first of all, after the Omen.
Yes.
They've even said that the Omen put these ideas in a lot of people's heads. Like the idea of the 666 and all that was not necessarily a part of the popular consciousness until this movie happened. So we have this in our head, but if you just read it pure, like read it from the beginning to end, it's a very interesting, very trippy thing. And a lot of symbolism that's going on in there. And a lot of what they're talking about is the early persecution of the church by the Roman Empire.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. So, all right. Well, thank you for that, Teresa. Is there? We're gonna call it quits here. So, is there anything you want to promote? I know you recently put up a video about House of the Dragon season 2.
Yes, the Battle of the Gullet. I'm still going through Fire and Blood because I'm still bitter. I will be forever about how House of the Dragon complete went off the rails. But yes, I am doing more lore videos with House of the Dragon, particularly. What's going to be happening in season 3 or maybe not, because we don't know if they're going to change it. But lots of fun there. Also, more Letters of Tolkien. We're going to learn more about the Numenorians and Sauron according to what Tolkien wrote about the Second Age, not what those Egypts wrote in their little fan fiction-y abomination. And I don't know, just whatever comes up in my fancy. I am currently traveling, so I don't know, maybe I'll have some traveling stuff. Who knows? But please, visit me and maybe give me a like, share, to subscribe early and often, because it's a fun life and it's too short not to muse on it.
I agree. Thank you for that. So for me, I've been reading Wheel of Time. I started reading Lord of Chaos. So I'm trying to get a book club going tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. We'll see if that happens. And I think this is it for Serial Horror. I didn't make any other plans with people for this, so this might be the final Serial Horror for the season. So thanks for being here, everybody. This was a great season 3 of Serial Horror Chat. So just once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Consider following me on X. Basically, if you hit the bell for notifications here and on X, you will find out right away whether or not I'm going to be streaming, because I usually use X and YouTube for streaming and everything. So definitely definitely follow me so that you get notified of this. Yeah, the next chill will be on Friday, and they have the Golden Age Geek on. We're going to be talking a lot of the stuff that he's been watching, and he recommended a show to me that I got to watch now. I got to watch Penguin on HBO Max. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And then the week after, it's up in the air, but probably going to be doing a drinking whiskey stream with a few friends. Few friends that Miss Martin Muses definitely knows. So, so be on the lookout for that. And and I'm going to try and get through the Lord of Chaos hopefully by the end of the month. So we'll see how that goes. So, video content, I need to put more time into my video content. I haven't uploaded video in months, so that's still something I got to do. And I know I keep saying it every stream, but yeah, that's something I definitely want to do. Kind of take a little step back from streaming and make some video content and make something that's meaningful. That's my goal for this, and make something that that'll make people happy. Recommendations that'll make people happy. So that's where I'm at. So. All right, everybody. Miss Mara Muses, thanks for being here. Everybody, follow her on X and on YouTube. Her link is in the description. And yes, everybody, because of that, I'm gonna just show, instead of showing an outro, I'm just gonna show the intro again, and that'll be it. So everybody, take care, stay safe, and have a great rest of the weekend.
Okay, bye.
We are approaching that time of year again. A time of great exhilaration. A time of great pleasure. A time of great fear. The darker sides of all crave that latter delight from themselves, but even more so, from others. To satiate that hunger, our dark selves take interest in entertainment from tales of the macabre that appeal to our deepest fears as only mortals face. The only way to achieve this is to begin the dark ritual where Brian, the corporeal life form himself, and a special guest will discuss a particular tale during this season to ward off pure evil, as well as to entertain and to educate. Proceed at your own peril to the third season of the Serial Horror Chat. When the Jews return to Zion and a comet fills the sky and the Holy Roman Empire rises, then you and I must die. From the eternal sea he rises, creating armies on either shore, turning man against his brother, till man exists no more.